So let's take a look at strings level 2 and the project that we're being asked to do. We're being asked to replicate this idea of an infinite number of monkeys, which would hit random keys on a typewriter, and eventually they would create something that makes sense. And so here we have a program, and this of course walks you through kind of the how to do the program, but I'm going to let you read that. Right now, the only video that is of interest is, what does this thing look like anyway? What are we talking about? So here we go. I've set mine up to type 1,000 characters per page. That's just for simplicity's sake, because I want to kind of interrupt the random creation of characters every once in a while and check to see if anything has been created that makes sense. So that's how I do it, is I split it up into groups of 1,000 characters. And then we're going to see, I was going to make it like this so you could see it a little bit better. So they're going to type random characters, and so what is it that we're hoping the monkey will type? This is just my explanation. This here, what do we want the monkey to type? So, the theory is that they will eventually type the complete works of Shakespeare. So maybe you think to yourself, oh, I want them to say to be or not to be. That is the question, right? If they were able to type that randomly, then they've got one line of Shakespeare, or maybe the Julius Caesar line, et tu, Brute, or maybe you can think of a million other possible lines. The fault is in our stars, or something like that. So you could do all that. Now I'm thinking to be or not to be, but what if I just want to simplify it and say be? Because I just want to see if it works. Aha! Somewhere in this random gobbledygook of letters, this monkey, number one, the very first monkey, typed BE. You can see where they were. Then I put the context of what they were doing, because I don't want to try to search through this to see if they're right. So I just said, here's what he was typing. He typed Ylux Quahobi Winfinicity. Right? So he typed the word B. Now it's not by itself because I didn't ask to search for a space. So I could have said search for BE space or even space BE space and seen if anybody ever would have come up with that one. I will say that one error in my code is that there's not a lot of spaces. You can see here that the words go on for quite some time. Maybe somebody could argue here we finally have like regular sized letters, right? Every once in a while. But maybe you could argue that monkeys would hit the spacebar more often than any other letter. Right now they have just as much likelihood of hitting the spacebar as they do anything else on the keyboard. And also, I didn't do lowercase letters and I didn't do numbers or special symbols on the keyboard. I just thought we'll let the monkeys type in all caps and see what they get to simplify things. Um, if it didn't find the word B, then it would keep on searching and it would try again. It would create another 1,000 and it would search for monkey number 2 would do it, and then monkey number 3 would do it. And if you search for something, I did something very short, BE, because there's a good chance that there's going to be a BE together in 1,000 characters. Hey, look over here. We have mix. So if I had said search for the word mix, it would have found it, or the word mob would have been there. Um, Here it almost typed the word book, but it did books instead. So you could search for any word. Like, so maybe you want to search for your name. Now, depending on how many letters in a row, if it's 2 letters in a row, it's going to find it fairly easily. 3 letters in a row is going to take a little longer. 4 letters in a row, longer and longer. And then, like I said, if you wanted to actually search for a long phrase in Shakespeare, you may be sitting here a long time waiting for it to actually do it. Um, and it's going to try 1,000 letters at a time and see if it's come up with anything sensical. Theoretically, even if it's not Shakespeare or the thing you're working for, it would randomly, again, given an infinite amount of time and an infinite amount of monkeys, it would randomly type in something that was 1,000 letters of something that would make perfect sense to you. But it's just as likely that something could make perfect sense and then the very last letter could be something, crazy. So that's the theory in this. Now I wonder how long it'll take it to type something of interest. But that's what we're trying to do here, and using the instructions, hopefully you can get a good um, way through this. And if you're doing this in the first class I ever taught badges in, this is the only program to help you through. Eventually there'll be some more help in this, but right now this will have to do.